Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible, one brave word at a time. And here today to help me with that mission is Benjamin Zachary Shure. He is one of the authors of a new book that we have coming out called The Energy Healer's Oracle, Tools for Total Transformation. I love titles that are alliteration. Angela Aurora Medway Smith is our lead author on this project called The Energy Healer's Oracle. And before Benjamin and I talk today, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Angela. Angela, we wouldn't be here without you. Your vision and mission for this book was other level. And when I think about our authors and think about holding this book in my hands very shortly, I get excited. I'm vibing higher, really, even just for knowing you. So thank you so much. And thank you for bringing in this powerful author cast to this book. You guys are going to get a taste of that today when Benjamin and I talk about who he is and the chapter he wrote. So let me tell you just a little bit. Benjamin Zachary Shure is a multi-dimensional galactic channel, healer, teacher, spiritual revolution guide. I like how you spelled that, Ben. And an instrument of light. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you very much for having me.
We started talking a little bit before I hit the record button today, and I was like, oh my gosh, let me hit this record button quick because there's some really powerful topics that I want to ask you about. But first, just tell us about the chapter that you wrote, about why you chose this story.
Okay. So it's a quantum Erasmus Reiki. And it's the chapter's it shows you how I sort of you could say got into this world, this realm unknowingly. Because it goes in about how I discovered my inner truth, my inner knowing in a way, through some of my experiences I had. I wrote about a little bit about my jungle experience, where I accidentally spent the night over there, and I was just surrounded by many, many spirits and wonderful beings. Also, it's a very powerful tool. 'Cause, by reading, everyone's able to tap into some of this energy and call it towards them. And that will help just to bring a calmness and maybe an awareness as well, and to help others to see their own true power as well by reading and just feeling. I would say to feel as they're reading
Oh
the
my gosh,
energy
yes.
forward. Yeah.
I mean, please, you guys, feel as you read throughout the whole book.
Mhm.
That's going to be something that is palpable, I think. I know it was with yours. So back in the day, I did some Reiki training and I was moving through Reiki level 1 and Reiki level 2. And I never went on to the third level, which is a teacher training. Because I was doing all kinds of other things, but I just wanted to have some basics. But what the authors, including you in this book, are teaching me is there are so many different kinds of Reiki. And back then we just heard the word Reiki. We're like, oh, Reiki. So there's this one thing, right? But now I'm learning all of these different kinds. Would you repeat the name of the one that you do?
Oh, so the one that's in the book is Quantum Erasmus Reiki. This is one that I channeled um through spirit, and almost it's quite interesting because I had been using this energy for all time, even though I went through you could say more typical paths of studying other kind of modalities. But the energy coming through was this particular one, the Erasmus, um, which I have used in another lifetime as well. They're just letting me know. by a different name. Quite interesting.
What do you think? So, what's important about understanding that there are different kinds? What do you want people to know about that?
Um, so well, Reiki, first of all, I believe in Japanese, it translates, well, in English it translates to master of energy. So we're made out of energy. There are many, many forms of different energies. And you could say the original type of Reiki was using earth energy. So in human language, that could be up to fourth dimension. And then there are many other types of Reiki, like angelic. If you put a number on it, that's around fifth to sixth, seventh dimensional energy. So working at a higher level of love, of light. The further away the higher the number we get is more closer to love, you could say. So on Earth, because there's a lot of fear around, a fear-based consciousness, which we're breaking out of through opening ourselves to love, and love will just help us expand. So it's almost in a way that the other different modalities or Reikis are in tune with a different frequency of love. You could say that, something like that.
That's a great way to put it, and I think more easily understandable. Of course, you want the highest vibes. It's great to even think that there are levels of that, because I think that most people just think of love as one highest, but not multiple levels of the love frequency. So I like to hear you talk about that. So for energy healing in general, just helping people understand why they want to be curious about that. What do you think the most important thing is about energy healing in terms of, we have a lot of people who are struggling physically, mentally, emotionally. Maybe they've been to 5 doctors and they can't figure out what the pain is about, or there are a lot of people who in traditional medicine really aren't getting that other level kind of help. So I think it's important to know about energy healing in general, but how would you put that?
Um, Interesting. So, in my opinion, energy healing was the original healing way before we had these Western medicines and things like this, that they've shown other ways of dealing with things. But if you go to ancient tribes in Latin America, and for example, in native Indians, they use the old methods, plant medicine, for example, and they work incredibly well because they're working with the earth. And in a sense, energy, we're all energy, and we can all connect with energy of different forms to help us heal. There's some light language to come through. Is that okay? Cool.
Yeah, of course. So
So just explain, when light language comes forward, as you could say, one of my guides just wanting to say something there, and a few of the listeners would understand what it means.
So, for our listeners and viewers, I've dabbled with several professionals who channel light language, and what I want you to know is that the first time you hear it, if you're not ready, you might be like, "What is that person doing?" And you might kind of drop into your own fear reaction or whatever reaction. But here we get curious instead. So when I first heard it, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and say I was like completely comfortable, because I had no idea. I had never heard anything like that before. But I have a very good friend who channels light language and has given me entire sessions of it. And what I think I'm most impressed about is your ability to translate, because it's like it's like knowing and being able to verbalize Japanese or whatever other, right. What do you want? Well, I have so many questions. When did you first start channeling that, and how did you then know what it was? Did you have teachers to help you?
Oh, this is interesting. So many people who used to channel light language used to use it as a child. Probably between, I think, average, we get activated from 3 to 7, and then sometimes I forgot that I actually used to channel light language because I sort of went into the 3D world unknowingly when I was 8, and lots of the things I could do, um, I chose, you could say, perhaps stop doing them. And one of them was light language. So I got reactivated or reinitiated. I actually joined a circle, a spiritual circle, which I didn't know. I was just drawn to it from my team, my spirit guides team. And I connected, and this lady Tina said a lot of it is in light language, and I thought, what is light language? And then when she started it, channeling light language, I automatically wanted to come back into it, but my human was resisting. And then later I just let it fly. And then it probably, so as you channel, if you can channel light language from many areas. So many of the chakras is not only the heart. A lot of my light language comes from the crown, third eye, well, many of the chakras. But if you can try and connect the light language to all of the chakras as well, that's incredibly powerful, and you can feel it. And then, so first of all, that light language is only going to be love, so it's only going to be positive, and it's going to work on the higher realms of consciousness to fill in gaps in, for example, our blueprint, our makeup, how we've made. Just replacing some of the belief systems that weren't our own, that have been projected upon us from childhood and all of this kind of stuff. So you start to feel it, and then one of there are many different clairs. I believe they say I'm in tune with all of them, but my more prominent, more strongest one is the knowing. So I automatically know what I'm channeling down. There are 194 different light languages. I know in the next 5 years, I'll be able to channel all of them and translate them all. At the
Wow.
moment, I channel around 53, and I'm able to translate probably 31 of them if I tried. Sometimes, maybe some of the human laziness comes in as I don't want to, but if someone asks me, for example, if you want to speak Palladian, and I would say, hello, my name is Ben. That's, so you can do it reverse, but I
Uh-huh.
don't normally do it that way. But I can do it that way. If some people want to, practice speaking, and this kind of thing.
So,
So
so I have a question about receiving for a minute. Many of the healers that I work with use this among lots of tools that they use to help people, right? But so here I am, and I'm listening, and as the client, what's the advice for me? I'm not understanding the words. Okay, no big deal, because it's a frequency, it's a vibration. So what should I do when when I'm hearing it? Just like a meditation, open up, and yeah, okay. What else would you tell me?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so first of all, yeah, open up. And I always say, if there's a part of your being that doesn't want to receive your part, you won't receive that part until you're ready, if you're ever ready. So it's always optional to receive. And it's basically opening up. And I would normally suggest to go into the heart, just breathing into the heart, because in a sense, it is just, it's love, unconditional love, just um away from higher realms than in the human plane, so a higher consciousness. There are many different words and beliefs as to what consciousness is, but I believe for me, in my case, I would say it's unconditional love. It's a big part of it, or neutrality, for example. Yeah. And also during these sessions, sometimes people can get like a strong resistance from the ego or the human. They're having fear of letting go of something that has had for many lifetimes, not just this lifetime. Many of the belief systems we have are carried over through multi-dimensional reality as well, and parallels and things like this. So letting go can be a uncomfortable process, but just to know that everyone is supported by their own team and the team I'm working with as well. So
Yeah,
I'm able to see. So at times there are hundreds of thousands of beings of love just there, almost like holding the hand kind of thing.
it's a nice visual. So I know what you're talking about. Letting go is uncomfortable. I'm a pretty good example of something going on right now where there's physical pain, and I kind of want you to talk about that so that some of our listeners understand the possibility here. You you may go at your physical pain with traditional medicines. You might have tried some holistic alternatives. You're going at the body, but a lot of the time, the pain, like you said, is letting go of something that could be generational. Like, oh my gosh, the possibilities here overwhelm me. I don't want to try to analyze it. I just want to understand how to open and receive that healing love to let go better. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
kind of a high achiever, so I even want to get good at this letting go thing, which makes me laugh. But for somebody like me, like, how can you help people let go into that? What is that process? Is it literally just quieting the mind? And I visually open the heart space. I have a vision of it. In other words,
Mm-hmm.
I try to melt. I
Yeah.
try to soften. I try to, but that's also physical.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you add?
So that's interesting. I haven't really thought about it because I'm normally the one who's bringing the energies forward. And so when I bring forward, I'm channeling words from the higher planes, you could say, and it's about surrender, and the different tones that come through me are helping um, to relax. For example, you, and then sometimes. Well, I used to have, when I first started, I had many people falling asleep during my sessions, and they were asleep for around 4 to 5 hours.
Wow.
That was when I was in Nicaragua. I had 6 different people a day, and yeah, Gioconda, who helped activate me in this lifetime
Mm.
through these abilities. But back to you. So first, what they said is just know that you're loved and that you're protected. So that's the main message coming forward, and that would help to, I guess, bring a sense, and knowing it's coming from truth, divine truth as well, because the frequency it comes in would help to your human to settle in, and knowing that there is for the human, it's nice to know that there's a reason sometimes. This is quite funny because this is many of our soul beings lesson is to let go of the reason and just to be, but there is a reason, and there are a few like me are able to see through the intergalactical multidimensional realities and just see where things are. It's almost like if you look at the map. Okay, I can show you. So they asked me to have this ready today. Um, this is some light language codes, but
Mm.
there's actually an intergalactical map, which I didn't realize, kind of thing. So, so this here is almost like it's going to be like a tool, which could help to extract the what I see on the back view is almost like a bit of a, in human words, sludge, just something that shouldn't really be there, and is almost wiggling, almost like a worm, kind of like up and down, kind of like this. And that could just be intergalactical debris, because when we sleep, our human is sleeping, but as a soul being, we're doing a lot of our work intergalactically in the astro realms. And it's quite likely, or well, you can see, but see if it resonates with you, that you are you've been working on quite a few different, what I would call blueprints, are probably to, they're telling me around 91 galaxies to the south, and then 4 to the right, and then in there, they're showing me a red dot, which is something you've got to pick up on your journey. And then the kia bakato guadakati shikabahabatakanaga dan kotokwa kikadaki kedasuko mama kadakata kinganaka ho bokata shingadaka hatasako hana sahai. So they're just basically saying, later on I'll send you the transmission with energy, and it will allow you to go back there safely and pick up the piece that you're missing, for example.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And for everyone who's watching, there's well, I practiced my awareness, and I allow myself to feel things. And so what I want you to know is, I was practicing that while Ben was talking, and I can feel things. I'm not going to even try to explain what I'm feeling today, just listening to him. But what I kind of want to relay to you all is that if you feel stuck or frustrated with something that's going on like that, this energetic approach might be the thing that changes everything for you. And it could be such deep healing that it surprises you, that it even goes beyond what you hoped you could heal in your life. And I get so excited about these possibilities. And Ben, you're amazing. Thank you for this knowledge today, and just for the way that you're willing to explain it to those of us who don't know about this so much yet, but it's coming, right? It's coming in this book. I have one more question for you. I think that authentic healers really know that their job is to connect us with our own inner wisdom. We help them to access this higher frequency that you've been talking about all this whole interview of vibration. It's one way that we empower people, is to make that connection. And you talked about your knowing earlier, which I was just smiling on the inside about when you were talking about that. I want to help people connect like that. What's this last thing you'd like to say about that? How can we take that step to get to that connection? What do you want people to know?
Okay. I understand now, because when I channeled my chapter, basically, and there was an exercise in there that's precisely for this, just going within. It's about knowing yourself. And when you, perhaps, for me, I love being with the trees. So I go to a tree and lay down, connect to the earth, and just ask my ego to step aside. Sometimes there are teachings where you can say you can override the ego, but that's not always the way to go. If I try to override my ego gets very angry. So I ask, and my ego likes to be part of the journey. So yeah, involving the ego in what you're doing is a good idea as well. And then once you do that, just take deep breaths, and you can even have like a little intention of simply, I want to know what is my truth, or I want to meet my truth.
Hmm.
And as you go through, you would take some deep breaths and things like that, and to uncover the, I don't know, the human sludge that's been placed upon us, which we didn't always ask for or knowingly ask for. And this is a way to sort of, I don't know, unsludge yourself, be clean from it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
clean it out.
yeah,
Oh
and
my goodness. All
yeah,
right, so I want to wrap up and tell you guys a little bit about what's coming with the book, but Benjamin Zachary Shure, you guys, if you want to connect with Ben, drop down into the show notes. I have hooked you all up with his website down there, and these are so much more than books that we're creating. We're creating communities of people like Ben who are very generously there to help you take the next step on your journey, to support you by answering the questions, and to help you with his beautiful, amazing energy modalities. I hope you guys, I hope your minds are blown just a little bit today with what's possible in terms of what's going on with you. Ben, thank you so much for what you
yeah.
do in the world, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me, Lara. Thank you.
So everyone, remember, you can join us for the book launch party. That's going to be June 9th at 10 a.m. Eastern. I have some information down below about that. We're going to be gathering with all of the authors from the Energy Healers Oracle. And if you happen to be listening to this interview after that date, then that means you could hop over to Amazon because the book is ready and you can purchase. And lastly, today, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. We'll see you next time, everyone.